Tonight Show Live. You got a question, I got an answer for you. Give us a call, 1-800-529-5465. We're going to go to Romella in the Bronx. Romella.
Hello.
Hi, Romella. How are you?
Hi. Good job, Red.
Thank you very much, Romella. I always appreciate a nice compliment.
Thank you. I'm asking you a question. My mom petitioned for me in my country, but I overstayed over here. I came over here on a visitor visa. And I also got my NVC letter, so I don't know what next to do.
All right, where are you from?
Yes.
No, I know you're in the U.S. Where are you originally from?
Guyana.
Guyana. And did you come here on a visa from Guyana?
Yes, visitor visa.
And it was your name, no funny business or anything?
Nothing.
Okay, and you're single?
Yes.
Okay.
I have 2 kids.
How long ago did your mom get her green card?
Since 2015.
Okay, who sponsored her?
My mom, she got it herself. She married and she got it herself.
Got it, all right. And you've never filed for anything for your green card before, right?
No, she just petitioned for me in my country, and I just came over for a holiday.
How old your children were born here, or they need green cards too?
No, they did not born here. They're born in my country.
How old are they now?
One is 15 and one is 6.
Okay, and they're living here with you now?
Yes.
Okay, so the answer is this. You're going to need a provisional waiver. You're going to go back to Guyana with that provisional waiver, and you're going to return. Now, before you freak out and say, I'm not going back to Guyana, hear me out, okay? You have, in essence, 2 choices at this point. If you're at the National Visa Center, your mom filed for you in 2015, sounds like you're pretty close to being eligible for a green card. Now, the law says because you started your case after April 2001, you're not grandfathered in the U.S., so you can't get your green card here through your mom's sponsorship. You have to go back to your country of birth, which is Georgetown, Guyana. If you go back to your country of birth and you overstayed on your visa, of course you will get stuck. You have a 10-year bar. You and your children will be back home, not be able to come back. And it's obviously something you don't want to do. What we do and what many people do is what's called a provisional waiver. The provisional waiver is done here in the United States. It's based on extreme and unusual hardship to your mother. Your children don't need it because they are under 18. You're the only one who needs it. And you get that waiver approved. And what that waiver waives is your unlawful status in the United States. The fact that you came here on a visa and you never left. It waives that. That is the reason why people get stuck when they go back home. So if you have that piece of paper in your hand, this provisional waiver, done on an I-601A form, based on extreme and unusual hardship to your mother, and you have that, and you go home, let me explain to you what the interview is in Guyana. Where's your medical? Do you have any drugs in your system? Do you have any communicable diseases? I assume you won't. Where's your affidavit of support? I assume you'll have a good one. We would never let you leave with a bad one. Where's your provisional waiver? Here it is. No more questions about immigration. Have you ever lied to the U.S. government, committed fraud, or have a criminal record? I assume the answer is no. We'll go through your entire history. Congratulations, here's your green card. I just went through the entire interview process with you. So the only thing that stops you is the provisional waiver, the unlawful presence in the United States. That's waived, and then you go home for 2 weeks and come back. I've done it for thousands of people. That's what you would need to do. And get a green card. And get a green card. Because I'll tell you, as big a risk as that is, and that risk is infinitesimally minimal, de minimis risk, as long as you have the waiver. Your greater risk is living here out of status indefinitely, you and your children. You all get green cards. So hold on 1 second. That's what I would do.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to Marissa in Salt Lake City. Marissa.
Hello.
Hi, Marissa.
Oh, thank you for accepting me.
My pleasure. What can I do to help you?
Yes, sir. So my question is my husband an automatic citizen through his citizen adopted mother? The mother adopted him when he was 2 months in Samoa country. They came to the United States on a green card in 1990. And he's 4 years old now.
What year was your husband born?
He was born 1978.
1978. So he was 22 years old in the year 2000. He is not an automatic U.S. citizen because you have, unfortunately, because you have to base it on old citizenship laws. The citizenship laws changed in February of 2000. What the law said prior to February of 2000 was that if you're basing your U.S. citizenship on the fact that you were adopted by a U.S. citizen, the adopting U.S. citizen parent would have had to have filed the N-600 form before your husband was 18. If the adopting parent did not do that, your husband unfortunately forfeited his right to automatic U.S. citizenship. The laws were different for biological children versus adopted children. In February 2000, the laws changed. They treated adopted and biological the same. But before that, unfortunately, no. So unless your husband adopted parents filed the N-600 form before he was 18 years old, he unfortunately is not a U.S. citizen.
So therefore, he's not a U.S. citizen,
Correct.
Unfortunately. But what if he's a green card holder and his card has expired April this year.
Well, is there a reason why his card expired? Does he have some sort of skeletons in his closet that you're concerned about renewing the green card and fingerprinting?
Well, we let it expire because we were advised by a attorney because of a background that happened in 2005.
What happened in 2005?
It's a felony, and they saying it's under aggravated.
Well, yeah, if he's an aggravated felon, he could potentially be eligible for automatic deportation. Now, Biden has just recently changed the rules on enforcement for people. So it's possible that if he were to be put in deportation and he can show, he's not a threat to future criminal activity and he has a long history being in the United States, it's possible he would be able to get something called prosecutorial discretion, which they're bringing back now. I don't know whether he would or wouldn't, but yes, as an aggravated felon, he would be automatically deportable. What I would suggest we do, or you do, is have a second consultation with me. Let's confirm he's a aggravated felon. Hold on one second.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, please, I have another one.
Yes.
So, but he was in jail for 6 months in that 05, and he did some probation. He's done with all the court stuff, but he then applied for his green card in 2011, and they granted it
Great.
to him. So is that a mistake?
I don't know. Maybe it's a mistake by immigration. Maybe it's a mistake by the immigration officer saying he's an aggravated felon. Let me just ask you this question. What was he convicted of?
It dropped down to convicted to the 3rd degree child abuse, and for 10 years of registry.
All right, so some sort of sexual abuse of a minor.
Yes, and he was on it's a 3rd degree attempted 3rd degree.
Okay, so it depends. If he pled guilty to some sort of sexual component in that child abuse, sexual abuse of a minor is an aggravated felony. If he just pled guilty to abuse of a child that doesn't have that sexual component to it, then that's like an assault on a child and a crime of violence, for example. And if he is sentenced to less than a year in jail, that could be a crime of moral turpitude. And if you are convicted of a crime of moral turpitude more than 5 years after your entry into the United States of America, and this happened 20 years after his entry, and it's his only offense, not only is he not deportable, but he may be eligible for naturalization. So I would definitely have a second opinion on that, because we got to see exactly what he pled guilty to. All right, so hold on one second. You're going to tell me I don't know the penal code of whatever state, so we would have to look it up. All right, I don't know it off the top of my head. So you're going to tell me, you're going to tell me 3rd degree, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to be like, wonderful. I don't know the penal code off the top of my head.
Yeah, we want to hire you. We want to talk to you about all that situation.
All right, so hold on one second. Hold on. Thanks for watching. For more Bradshaw Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.